Thank you, Madam Chair, brothers and sisters of indigenous people. My name is Tengku Fajri Krueng, representing the Aceh, Sumatra. I speak today under this year's theme, Indigenous Health in the Context of Conflict. For us in Aceh, Sumatra, this is not a discussion, this is our daily reality. The current removal of JKA by the government in Indonesia to our region, which is our regional health support for the indigenous people, has left many families without access to the basic health care. Mothers cannot afford treatment, children are left without care. Illness is no longer just a health issue, it has become a question of a survival. At the same time, at the end of last year, devastating flood made worse by deforestations by Indonesia governments in our region took the life of so many our people in Aceh. Entire community were destroyed as massive mudslide came from mountain, buried their thousands of homes. Families lost everything. And what did the Indonesian government do? Nothing. Many were left without sufficient food, without shelter, and without protection. As we were delivering aid to these people, the Indonesian military waited along the street to block the assistance we were sending. They beat some people, fainted, and others suffered head injuries with bleeding wounds from the beating. When people are left without health care, without land security, and without support in time of disaster, their health collapses, not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually. This is why we said health cannot exist without dignity, and dignity cannot exist without self-determination. The right to self-determination is recognized under United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People. It affirms that indigenous people has the right to determine their own future. For Aceh and West Papua, this is not politics, it is a survival. We respectfully call on the United Nations and member states to listen to our voice and our people, ensure that humanitarian protection reach the indigenous community without delays, and support pathways that allow our people to freely determine our own future so we can protect our own.
I thank the representative of OPPB.
Madam Chair, we thank the Special Rapporteur for his briefing. Allow me to take this opportunity to address the following. First, the claim that Jaminan Kesehatan Aceh or Aceh Health Insurance Program has been removed is simply misleading and incorrect. It is being reformed and better targeted towards those most in need, particularly the poor, the vulnerable, and patients with catastrophic illnesses. It is not a dismantlement, but a necessary reform to improve the quality of health services. Second, Indonesia has undertaken a large-scale, nationally coordinated response to severe floods affecting Aceh and surrounding areas. The facts on the ground tells a story of a government that responded with urgency and commitment. Over 50,000 personnel and extensive assets, including helicopters and aircrafts, were mobilized to ensure rapid delivery of humanitarian assistance, healthcare, and evacuation support. As recovery has progressed, the number of displaced persons have significantly decreased, with affected residents gradually returning home as basic services are restored. The situation has now transitioned from emergency response to recovery, guided by presidential instructions and presidential decree, which established a dedicated task force for rehabilitation and reconstruction. A comprehensive disaster recovery master plan is being finalized to ensure coordinated, resilient, and inclusive recovery. Third, Indonesia remains open to constructive international cooperation while ensuring recovery efforts are nationally led, well coordinated, and above all, responsive to the needs of our people. We believe this forum is at its most valuable when it fosters honest and solution-oriented dialogue, and we would respectfully encourage all participants to uphold that standard. Indonesia welcomes constructive engagement on disaster resilience. While we remain open to dialogue, we must express our deep concern over the selective and politically motivated framing of a humanitarian situation, including with the situation in Papua, to advance a self-determination agenda, an approach that is inconsistent with Article 46 of UNDRIP. In that spirit, we would like to request through you, Madam Chair, that our collective strength lies in constructive dialogue, mutual respect, and solutions that truly serve the people, and not the opposite. Thank you.
OPPB.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate the Indonesian delegation response the other day, but I must clarify several critical inaccuracy that cannot go unanswered. Regarding the JKA program, the Indonesian delegation speak of reform while Achenese people experience systematic dismantlement. Their claim of better targeting ignore the reality that its removal will create miserable gap in healthcare access that cannot be dismissed as mere improvement. The Indonesian delegation's claim an urgent and committed response to floods. If this were true, why did our volunteers face military blockades and beaten while attempting to deliver aid? Why were thousands left without shelter for months after disaster and is still going on till today? Mobilizing personnel is meaningless if they obstruct rather than facilitate humanitarian assistance from indigenous organizations who understand our community needs. The Indonesian delegation's references Article 46 of UNDRIP while conveniently ignoring Article 3, which affirms our right to self-determination. They speak of constructive dialogue. We welcome that. But we must also be honest about the past. There have been so many dialogues and promises from Indonesia, including special autonomy, arrangement like KOHA, the Helsinki MOU, and commitments such as Ikrar Lamte. Yet this promise has never been fully realized at all. Dialogue must begin with truth. The truth is they cannot be trusted. The truth is this: the people of Aceh and Papua must be allowed to determine their own future, not through repeated unfulfilled promise, but through a genuine process that respects our voice and our right. We do not frame our situation politically. We report the life reality of indigenous people under Indonesian rules. A health crisis, environmental destruction, and block humanitarian aid are not political obstruction. They are daily violations of human rights. We ask again, will the UN uphold its own declaration and support our right to exist as free people, or will it continue to allow Indonesia to speak for us while silencing our voice? Thank you.
Now call upon the representative of Indonesia.
Thank you, Chair. Indonesia reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the UN Charter, UNDRIP, and the 2030 Agenda. Indonesia also recognizes the importance of inclusive approaches to climate action, biodiversity governance, and ensuring AI benefits reach all peoples, including indigenous people and local communities. Chair, Indonesia deeply regrets the repeated conducts of delegations, namely OPPB, which has consistently undermined the credibility of this forum. Yesterday, they deliberately recorded a closed session and illicitly published it on an open platform, spreading separatist disinformation, flagrantly disregarding UN rules of procedures. These behaviors are undermining the ongoing effort to enhance participation of IPOs and institutions in meetings of relevant UN bodies, and critically betraying the sincere efforts of many IPOs working in good faith to earn their seat in this forum. Indonesia must also respond to the allegations regarding Aceh. In February 2026, the government disbursed 3,609 billion rupiah, approximately $22 million of aid funds across Aceh and the regions. Thousands of temporary housing units have been built for affected communities, while hundreds of permanent homes have also been completed. This is not a government that obstructs its people. This is a government that shows up for them. Moreover, the Helsinki Agreement stands precisely as the most compelling proof of Indonesia's genuine commitment to dialogue and peaceful resolution, facilitated through the sincere engagement of all parties. Chair, Indonesia firmly rejects the unverified narratives put forward by OPPB regarding the incident in Papua, including the accusations of the Streets Movement organization, which are inconsistent with facts verified by local authorities and the Ministry of Human Rights. Indonesia authorities continue to conduct thorough investigations and data verification. Engagement with national human rights institutions and local stakeholders is also ongoing to ensure transparency, accountability, and trust. Indonesia remains committed to resolving the situation through law-based processes, accountable institutions, and continued stabilization efforts, while promoting long-term peace and development in Papua. Indonesia underscores that the actions of separatist groups, which carry out acts of violence that endanger civilians and deliberately exploit such situations to advance political agendas, are unacceptable and inconsistent with the principles of the UN Charter, including respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. Such action endanger communities and undermine efforts to promote peace, stability, and inclusive development. I thank you, Chair.
I thank the representative of Indonesia.
Hi, friend. So, as I go home, I just want to answer from the last Indonesian speech. I don't want to go and answer, so everybody's need to know what's going on in Indonesia. So when Indonesians speak at international forum, they seems this government is the best government ever. That's what I'm saying. When I was listening to Indonesians delegations at UNPFII, which is Forum of Indigenous People, seem they are the best governments for their people, and they trying to excuse us everything and to kick us out. But when you go to Indonesia, you will see how bad this Indonesian government is how corrupt is the Indonesia government. As a matter of fact, the people of Indonesia cannot wait for this government to be collapses. The other thing is, as far as recording in the session, so recording is not a big deal because we saw that so many people record the session. That's why we are recording. Just because they don't have any answer for us, the Indonesian, they don't have any answer for from my last speech. So they just trying to excuse us for recording is closed session. You cannot do that and blah 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 blah. So but just because Indonesia doesn't know what to say, doesn't know what to do. The recording is not big deal. It's just like I said. It's just like I said. The recording it should be fine because the president of General Assembly itself doesn't get mad at us. He said, "Hey, you're not supposed to be recording here," so we did not record it. Yeah, and the third one is Indonesia said anything about they have spent a lot of money. Almost like $2 million. Try to give it to Achenese people who got impacted by severe flood. But when you ask the Achenese people, and they don't get that money. Look, a few weeks ago, this is Omon, the Indonesian president, went there, and the Achenese that stay under the kemah because they don't have no house, they took out all this kemah and rip out their kemah just to show the Indonesian president that everything is went smoothly, everything is perfect. But in reality, if you go to Aceh, you ask people who impacted by this severe flood, that's a lot of people, they don't even get a house yet. They don't have nowhere to go. And guess what? And also these people that their house covered with mudslide, they even don't have enough money to dig that mud from their house. So what this is when Indonesia says they spend $2 million to cover all of this. So I just want to tell you the truth, what Indonesia said in the international forum that was wrong, okay? The last thing is I just want to tell you that you should not believe what Indonesians said in international forum about all of this. If you go to Indonesia, there is a phrase saying kabur aja dulu. Let me just live in Indonesia or come back later. I mean, that how Indonesian feeling because they are really bad. So I just want to be clear to everybody who listen to those forum at indigenous people forum the other day. So just want to be clear. I mean, but also, I mean, if you have Indonesian friends, whoever, I mean, call them to see, hey, is this true what Indonesian says in indigenous forum? I mean, Indonesia is really bad, just ready to collapse. But outside the Indonesia, they are just pretending they are the best country ever. That's it. I mean, for everybody, thank you so much.